Hey guys, happy National Coming Out Day. So I thought in honor of today that I would kind of share with you a story. I recently came out at my job and it was a pretty big deal. I have about 70 people in my department and certain people knew and were starting to spread rumors and stuff. So I figured that I wanted to nip that in the butt and, I wanted to be the one to tell everybody instead of it being word of mouth and, people worrying about why didn't I tell them or is this true and stuff like that. So in order to curb all that, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put together a speech and I'm gonna come out to my whole department at once, and that way it's no question, it's all out there, and that's that. When I first got this job 3.5 years ago, well, I was an animal care tech at the time, and I wanted to be promoted at one point, and I shared a locker room with other men and stuff like that. So I was really just hesitant to come out because I didn't want it to interfere with my job, and I didn't want it to interfere with my ability to get promoted. So I held on, and now that I've been in the supervisor position for almost a year, and I just feel really comfortable, and the people who did know didn't have a problem with it. And just to be true to myself and just be able to be authentic and visible at work, it was really important to me. People need to know that there are trans people in the world who integrate and assimilate, and you might not even know they're there, but that doesn't mean we're not here. We're here, we're thriving, we're doing really well, and we can do really anything we want to. We can assimilate and live normal lives. So visibility is important, and this was kind of like the final hurdle in my life to coming out. So I spoke with the head of my department, and he was all on board with it. And so then reached out to our diversity and inclusion office, which we have here at UMass, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I just want to make sure I have the university's back, and that if anything comes from this, that I'm protected and my job is protected. So I put together this speech, and I'm just gonna kind of read over it right now and share it with you guys. And yeah, so I think it's a good experience, and everyone should know about it. So I said, hello, everyone. Good morning. As some of you may know, I've been trying to get more involved in diversity and inclusion events here on campus. I decided to make a little presentation on authenticity today and bring your authentic self to work. And so in the background, I had a slideshow and was just talking about being your authentic self at work and what that means, and how we're all unique individuals. We all bring different skills and assets to the table, and it's really important to have different perspectives, especially when where I work in a field of research. So this was my kind of the background kind of leading up to my coming out. I said I'm hoping that this will open the door for others to come up here and present their authentic selves at future meetings. So I'm just kind of setting on the stage for that. Today I have something that is very important and personal to me that I would like to talk about. I've been meaning to share this with you all for a while. I just didn't really know the right time or the right place. However, with the help from the head of the department and the diversity and inclusion office, this is the platform that I would like to use to discuss this significant aspect of my life. To be clear, I'm not doing this for sympathy or admiration. I'm doing this for myself and my community because I believe that, especially nowadays, it is important to be authentic, to be honest, and to be visible in your authenticity. What I have to say is a challenge for me. It might make people uncomfortable, which is not my intention, but in order to grow personally often requires moving out of one comfort zone, and I hope that if anything, I still have your respect as your colleague. So here we go. As some of you may know, I was born on July 10th, 1992, but I was not born Damien Anthony Montoya. Instead, I was born Demisha Ann Montoya, and I was a healthy, seemingly normal baby girl. And in the background, I had a slideshow, and when I said that, I clicked the button, and a baby picture of me popped up, so I was like naked in the tub. And I had other pictures from my childhood up there too that solely came about as I was giving this speech. So yeah, from a very early age, I knew I was different. Instead of Barbies, I played with dinosaurs and Legos, and when given the chance, I would wear boys' clothes and give myself masculine nicknames. But it wasn't until I was 19 years old, a sophomore in college, that I realized what I had to do. The term transgender is used to describe somebody whose gender identity does not align with their biological sex. The steps taken to realign one's body with their gender identity are different for everybody. Some people change their name, some start hormone replacement therapy, and some get surgery. Some people do all or none of the above. It's truly a personal journey. Outside of work, this is something that I am very open about and actually take a lot of pride in. Getting to this point in my life has taken me a long time to do. I started transitioning from female to male 7 years ago, almost to the day. It started with me changing my name and pronouns, and then hormone replacement therapy. I've been on testosterone for 6.5 years now, and for 6 of those years, I lived what the community calls stealth, where I didn't tell anybody about it. That was a lonely and strange way to live, and I constantly felt like I was carrying around the secret, like I was hiding something. But I was just trying to live a normal male life without having to explain to everyone my situation and answer very personal and constant questions. But over time, living stealth ate away at me physically and mentally. A great quote I love is by a woman named Paula Stone, who does a wonderful TED Talk. She says, "The call towards authenticity has all the subtlety of a smoke alarm, and eventually decisions have to be made." So to be authentic and to be healthy, a little over a year ago, I used my social media platforms to come out and make my transition public. The feedback I received was overwhelmingly positive and made a huge improvement in my life. I realized that my story was an important one to share. I want to be the inspiration that I didn't have when I was younger, to give people struggling with their identities hope. Ever since coming out, there has been a missing piece. I still had this important aspect of my life that I was hiding from my coworkers. Today, however, I am closing that loop, so to speak. I spend 40 plus hours a week here, and I truly enjoy the people in animal medicine. And I get along with, well, mostly, each of you. I love my job and the people I work with, so I felt that now is the time to open up and share my story. I am incredibly fortunate to live and work in an environment that allows me to feel comfortable enough to do this. Most people like me do not feel that way. So in honor of all my brothers and sisters who cannot be out and open, who do not have a voice, I am that voice. I choose to be visible for those who can't be. I choose to represent my community, to show the world that we are here, we are normal, and we aren't going anywhere. Being trans is okay. We can assimilate and we can be successful. Not only can we survive, but we can thrive. Thank you for your attention. There is just one more thing I do want to bring up before I let you go. Coming in November, there will be a ballot initiative regarding transgender rights. Back in 2016, Massachusetts passed legislation making transgender persons a protected class, allowing us to use the facilities that we identify with without discrimination. Now, a small group of people are trying to repeal that legislation, making it legal to discriminate and deny services to transgender persons. Now, I don't want to persuade or dissuade any of your personal decisions. I just wanted to inform you and educate you on the matter. And whether or not you plan on voting, I just advise that you research the topic and make an informed decision. And in the background, I had a slideshow of the legislation that's coming up in November. It's question 3 in Massachusetts, basically, like I said, repealing that legislation that's protecting us. So I just did a little presentation on that and just let people know like what your yes vote means, what a no vote means. So if you are out there, you are from Mass, vote yes on question 3. It's very important. But the cool thing is about my job is that regardless of that law, whether it passes or not, or gets repealed or not, UMass has its own policies. So those policies have been in effect since before that legislation was even around. So regardless of that law passing or being repealed or whatever, UMass at least is going to uphold their own personal institutional standards, saying that we still are going to allow transgender persons to use whatever facilities they identify with without discrimination. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, happy National Coming Out Day. I just did this last Friday. It was really nerve-wracking and crazy, but honest to God, when I put the paper down and I let people know, like, hey, if you have questions, just ask me in private. Obviously, it's probably going to be personal, so I have no problem answering questions. Just make sure it's in private. And I got a standing ovation. Like, people stood up and were clapping, and people come up to me crying and hugging, and it was amazing. So I thought it was important to share that, on my YouTube or Instagram or whatever, because a lot of people do live stealth at work, and I totally understand. But I'm glad that I'm comfortable enough to be able to be open now, and literally no one's even asked me questions. No one's even skipped a beat with me. So I'm really happy I did it. I feel a lot better, and I feel open. I feel like now I'm allowed to talk about all the stuff that I talk about on social media and stuff at work, which is awesome because I work and spend a lot of time with these people, and I truly enjoy them. And I think it's important to be able to share with them that aspect of my life. So that's about it for now. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.